Hey guys, Sid from Sid's Trains here, and today we're going to be looking at what's inside this big MTH box.
So before we get started in this video, I want to show you some cool products from my buddy Matt. My buddy Matt has started a Teesprings page where he is selling t-shirts, sweatshirts, some face masks, even some hats I believe. And the products are amazing. This is one of them. This is a B&O t-shirt that I got. And I even have another shirt from him. I have this Reading Crusader shirt. This just looks amazing. And he has tons of other shirts as well. He has Great Northern, New York Central, Long Island Railroad, and I even believe he has some British Railroad stuff. So go check out his page on Teesprings, and I'll put the link in the description below. And use code SIDSTRAINS at checkout, and you will get 10% off your purchase. That helps out my buddy Matt and helps out me. And in return, you will get some really nice t-shirts, sweatshirts, or whatever you purchase from his page. So go check it out and make sure to use code SIDSTRAINS. Let's get into this video.
So the other day I was just sitting at my desk and I get a message from my buddy about this engine that's on eBay. The engine is a very rare and unique engine from MTH, and I saw the deal and just couldn't turn it down. It was going to fit very well with the theme of my layout of a coal hauler railroad. This engine is in the road name and is an engine that pulled coal trains and freight trains. It is very unique. So I just could not turn down the deal, and I picked it up, and we're going to check out what's inside this box. Put in the comments section what you think it is before you watch the rest of the video, but let's go check it out. And there it is. The engine that was in the MTH box is this unshrouded Norfolk and Western J number 605. This engine is a very, very interesting engine, and the story behind it is very interesting. This is like 611, which is the very famous Class J locomotive that still runs to this day, and this is what 611 would look like without all the streamlining on it. 611 has a streamlined front and all the streamlining on the side. But if you notice, this doesn't have a cone at the front, and it doesn't have smooth sides. You can see the handrails and all this detailing, the bell, the pop-off valves, and I'll get some other close-ups of the rest of the detailing on this engine. And overall, it just looks so different, and yet you still know it's a J, and it's just so cool. You put this next to 611, and you'd think, what kind of engine is that? Because it just doesn't look like a J, and yet it is. It's still this large 464 type steam engine, and it just looks different because when you think of a Class J locomotive, you think of 611, or the post-war Lionel 746, which looks like 611, but of course is semi-scale. But that streamlined look is what you think of when you think of a Class J. But this instead is an unshrouded Class J. So not only is this a unique engine because it's an unshrouded J, it's unique because MTH didn't make a lot of them. While they produced this, I believe, one or two times they were kind of low production numbers. Not a lot of people bought them, and that's made it so in the market today they are worth more money, and there's just not a lot of them out there. And when you do find them, they are expensive. But I found a really good deal on this one and just couldn't turn it down because look at this thing. It is a J, but it looks like this. The tender for the most part is still the same, but just take a good look at it. It is just such a beautiful looking black steam engine, and the Norfolk and Western letters on the tender look great. It is overall just such a good looking engine, and I am extremely happy to have this in my collection. I will be doing a review on this engine in the future, so stay tuned for that. But in this video, I just wanted to showcase it. It was a unique item that I got, and I thought I might as well just do a little unboxing of it. So let me get you some close-ups of the engine right now. Now, before I start the engine up and just run it around for a little, I do want to mention something that, in my opinion, is something important about this engine. This engine is from, at least from my perspective, the heyday of MTH. Lionel also had a heyday, in my opinion, and in Lionel's case, it was from around 2000 to 2010. They made amazing products during that time period, and they still make good products, but they're just not the same. The quality of them is just different. The same thing happened with MTH. I believe MTH products were amazing from the time they started. Around 1989-ish, I believe, was when Mike made his first engine for what he called at the time Mike's Train House, and then over time it became MTH. But I believe it was 1989 to then around 2004. And the reason I say that is because they changed their quality and their electronics after 2004. This engine is what we call in the repair business a 5-volt engine. It has a PS2 5-volt board. So it has a 9-volt battery in the tender, but it has DCS. Before this, we had Protosounds or Protosound 1 or PS1. And those were conventional engines, and they had a 9-volt battery as well, and they had QSI sounds in them, and they were amazing. I have my Protosound 1 T1 from MTH that I even did a review on, and it's just a beast of an engine. This engine is also a beast. It is just fantastic. The quality of it on the inside and the outside is just fantastic. It's super heavy. The wiring on the inside is thick gauge wire. The smoke unit, like all MTH engines, is crazy. It smokes a lot. And it's just so rugged. After 2004, things kind of went off a cliff. The wiring got smaller. I feel like the trains were kind of lighter, not as heavy. Detailing, I feel, went down a little. And the sound, even the sounds weren't as good. The sounds were even more lackluster than MTH sounds already are. Not to say that MTH sounds aren't good, they just have never been super bassy and full of power. But back with Protosound 1 and PS2 5-volt engines, they had nice, loud sound systems. and the whistles were amazing, even if they weren't accurate, which that's one thing on this engine I don't believe is accurate is the whistle, but we'll get to that in a little. But back to the point, it's just such a well-made product, and that's something that I think kind of drew me to it other than the Unshrouded J part of it. I wouldn't have bought it if it was a PS2 3-volt engine, which is PS2 engines made after 2004, or if it was PS3. I think PS3 and Protosound 3 engines are just not as good, and they have the wireless drawbar that MCH has, and it's just not very good. And I'm not bashing MTH at all. Lionel has their issues as well. More recently, they've had issues with smoke units, boards, motors, quality control, and it's just the same with all of them. They just have quality control issues, and it's just not very good. Like MTH's most recent Big Boy that they showed in a video, I believe with Train World, it wasn't even puffing smoke out of both stacks. It's just like, come on, MCH. Things aren't made the way they used to be, and this is from the heyday of MTH, and that's why I love it so much, other than the fact that it is an Unshrouded J and just such a unique looking engine. So now I'm going to run the engine around for a little, and do note, it is being controlled with just a transformer. I have my TIU, but my remote died recently, so I have no way to control my DCS equipped engines. So for now, I will be running it with a transformer, and that's why you might notice it's kind of jerky in operation. It might stutter a little because MCH engines, and specifically Protosound 2 engines and Protosound 3 engines, don't like running in conventional mode. They're more happy in the command-controlled environment. But in the future, when I do a review of this engine, I will run it with DCS, and I will get all the features out of it. But for now, let's run it around for a little. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video on the new addition to the collection. I'm really enjoying this Unshrouded J. It's such a unique looking engine, and as I said before, the quality on it is just fantastic. It's from the heyday of MTH in my opinion, and I don't think you can beat this engine with anything else. There's no other Unshrouded J on the market in 3-rail to my knowledge, so if you want one, you have to find one of these. And when you do, you will not be disappointed. It's just an amazing engine. And stay tuned for a review on this engine. I will be doing a review once I get my DCS and TIU and hopefully get another remote or a WIU. And once that's all set up and I have the layout more set up and I actually have the track ready to run the engine instead of just using a transformer and a couple wires. So once all that's ready, I will do a review, and you'll get to hear a little more about this engine. So I hope you enjoyed, and as always, like, subscribe, and click the bell for notifications. Comment below, and tell others about the channel. I'm Sid, and I'll see you next time, guys.